You're listening to Inside Real Estate, your source for all things mortgage and real estate related. The show that brings you all the hottest topics and insights directly from those who know it most. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Sit back, enjoy the show. Paul Apostolakis, Brad Weisger, Salvatore Cusmano. We are Inside Real Estate. It is the year 2020, and I don't know how many more things could be kind of screwed up in 2020. Yellowstone's going to erupt. UFO sightings all over TikTok. TikTok has taken over every wife and household mother and single girl on the planet. Brad Weisgerber's cholesterol is higher than it's ever been, and Salvatore Cusmano has got the lowest cholesterol he's ever had. So congratulations, guys.
I don't know about
that. So welcome everybody to the show. Thank you all for going to and subscribing. Thank you for all the comments. We really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Go to irepodcast.com. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, we're located there. You can go to our Facebook /IRE podcast. Check out some past episodes. We do record these live for those of you listening on the podcast app. So if you ever want to see our mugs, we are on the Facebook thing, and we do this live on Facebook. So there we are. Today we have a special guest. His name's Darren Peterfi. He's been on the show before, but he's made some changes, and I want to talk to him about. Before we get started, Brad, you know Darren. What do you think is the most interesting thing about Darren that you can think of?
Man, there's a lot of interesting things about Darren. I think the most interesting thing about
golfing, and he was hot and he was wearing jeans. He was hot and he was wearing pants, and he cut off his jeans, like Daisy Duke style on the course.
Style, yeah. He was modeling for the bartender. Yeah, it was great.
Really great times.
Yeah, what's up, Darren? There he is.
Hey, guys.
Peterfi, how are you, sir?
I am fabulous. Trying to forget that moment of golf desperately.
We'll never let you forget that.
So, Darren, can you move in the middle of the frame? You're kind of like your head is not big enough to be on that side. Small. So, Darren, I want to talk to you today about a couple things. I want to talk to you about what you're seeing in your market. Darren's in the Grand Blanc area, right downtown Grand Blanc. Oh, no, you're not. You're outside of Grand Blanc. But you're right there.
It's on the south end of Grand Blanc. Yep.
Got it. Grand Blanc, Michigan. Darren has an interesting story. He's had a storied career in the space, in the real estate space. Did appraisal management for a while. He's been kind of all parts of it, and I've kind of watched him kind of evolve over the years. And Darren has recently settled into a new venture that he started not too long ago, and he's having some success. So I really wanted to have him on. So congratulations, Darren, on your new venture. Do you want to tell the audience what you did over the last year?
So we were at another big box store. We were at Keller Williams, and my partner and I, Christy, we had decided to merge our two businesses, which we swore we'd never have partners, and we merged, and it's worked in a really, really big way. And now that we've settled in as far as our models in our systems, we made a move to eXp, which has been a phenomenal move for us. Not only is it offered us a better system to operate within, but it's also offered us a lot more freedom to build our business and our brand and to get care of bigger footprint here, not only just in our market area, but in kind of the Southeast Michigan market.
Yeah, and Sal, we've a lot of people, not a lot, but seen it happen with some big agents and some people are in the area, and it's kind of like they're growing pretty quickly. Sal, we've seen people kind of leave the Keller Williams model and go to the eXp, which is more virtual. They've kind of have the technology thing kind of set up, but it seems to be working for a lot of people, right, Sal?
Yeah. I mean, I think eXp is huge, and I think it's at first was probably questioned by a lot of people if it was viable or not, but I think it's here to stay for sure. And I think personal preference probably is what it comes down to for each agent, right? Sometimes some people like that Keller model, but I think that eXp is a great platform for agents to really do and grow their own thing without a complete lack of support, right? I mean, you still got a lot of that you can lean on there, right, Darren?
Oh yeah, the support, actually, I found that the eXp side of the support level has been way more hands-on, even in a virtual world, which is really kind of an oxymoron, than our support at Keller Williams ever was, because they've got everybody kind of this working remotely. That's everything's a technology driven operation, and everyone works remotely out of their homes. And our accounting department, our onboarding specialists, our regional brokers, they all work remotely, but they're hands-on instantaneously. I can message them at any moment and get them. I can talk to them live. I can sit into a virtual world, like The Sims, I guess. I can walk into their office virtually at any time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I can message them through Workplace.
Darren, are you saying that Keller Williams doesn't have that capability to be on the cloud like that?
Not anywhere close. Does not have that capability today at all.
Really?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So I know a big thing about eXp is that it's a lot of virtual, a lot of cloud-based. You don't have to have a brick and mortar, but you guys chose to get a big new office space and build it out. Why is that?
Well, you still, the same way that churches have thrived for thousands of years, right? People still need interaction. You can work virtually, you can work from home, you can do some of the things that you need to do, but we still require that human contact, that human interaction, and having a nice facility that we can have our trainings and camaraderie, and a place that you can get away from home. Sometimes it's great to separate home and business, and for me, that's a big piece of this. Is I've got to separate home and business. I can't just live my home life and my business life together all the time, because there's no separation. They just blend.
That makes sense. So, so we'll talk some more about the models a little bit later. But obviously, you've been doing this a long time, and we are seeing a really, really, really hot real estate market across the country. Like, realistically, like, this is like, I was talking to a buddy of mine out in California, and he's like, dude, there's like, the housing prices are going through the roof because everybody's moving. They're trying to get out of the city, whatever it may be, right? There's all these reasons for people to be moving, pent up demand. Are you seeing that in your area? And does it worry you how heated the market is getting right now?
It worries me a little bit. It has cooled off. What I've seen statistically, it has cooled off to a certain degree, where there was, Zillow puts out reports all the time. It talks about the average number of buyers per home. And it went from a high of 27.9 buyers per home at the height of this frenzy, I guess, during the summer, to now it's like 19.2. So that has cooled off as far as for the number of buyers that's currently out there per home, and that's based on pre-approvals and things of that nature of people who are actively out there getting their ducks in a row to buy a home. Now, with that said, I'm also noticing that the average price per home is going down, which is really ironic in the marketplace right now, where we were carrying a $272,000 average purchase price, has now dipped below 200. And I attribute that to a lot of people that, maybe didn't have the resources prior to COVID, being able to purchase. They're working from home, saving money from vehicles, car expenses, things of that nature, that maybe was able to save up a little more extra money to be able to start buying homes. And it's changed that buying sector, that these are a lot of first-time home buyers buying homes now, where our previous clientele was second, third, fourth, fifth time, transacting. To I would say, I think we're at over 72% of our transactions right now are all first-time home buyers. So it's really affected the market a lot.
Yeah, I think people are more weary of making moves, right? Unless they need to, from wow, this virus has affected us to the point where we have to move our family into a bigger home, especially with homeschooling and whatnot. But for the most part, people sitting in apartments or at mom and dad's house, they're probably going nuts, and it's time to get out there and buy their own place, right?
You hit that right on the head.
Mhm.
It's the move out of mom and dad's house, newlyweds buying their first home that they were able to get situated with. Apartment transition right now is up 54% in our market area. There's more available apartment rentals right now than there's been in the last 10 years. So there's been a lot of transition as far as from that.
What was that? What is that? There's a lot of apartment rentals. What did you say about
Yeah,
that?
there's 54% more available apartments in today in our market than there has been in the past 10 years. So where previously occupancy rate was almost full all the time, and now they're experiencing a vast transition in that marketplace.
Do you think it's because people are buying homes, or do you think it's partly because of loss of income and restrictions that are so strict when you're trying to get an apartment as far as credit checks and everything else to get approved to get the apartment? Or do you think it's people are buying houses?
I think it's both, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of people that have been affected by this pandemic, and loss of income, loss of jobs, loss of that situation. But then in the same token, it's also put people in a better financial position in a lot of ways to be able to purchase. So I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest with you, Brad.
I'm going to pose a question, and Sal, you might want to answer this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at very low rates, right? Historically, we're in the 2s, low 3s, whatever it is, right? People that buy houses today, and let's say they have a 2.75% interest rate on a 30-year mortgage, and they're probably looking for a house that they're going to be in like at least 5 years. People aren't thinking about moving as much as they used to be. I think people are living in their houses longer than they have been in the past. Where in the past, people are moving every 5 to 7 years on average, right? Now we're kind of seeing that trend elongate, partially because of COVID and a lot of other things. What happens when all these people are in their homestead and they're at some percent, rates go up to 4.5% or 5%? Will that curtail the purchasing of new homes because they're not going to want to leave their low rate where they're at today? And do you think that will affect the housing market in the future when not as many people are churning over houses?
I think that there'll be some payment shock, right? But I mean, no, I don't think so. I think people buy homes when they need to, right? I mean, if you could time the market right every single time, you would just know, right? And you can't do that.
Yeah.
You don't know when you're going to have a family and need to expand. You get married, you get a new job. I mean, it is what it is, right? So if your home costs an extra $150 a month, I think that people are able to justify home expenses over maybe, like a car or something like that. They'll cut out elsewhere in their life to make sure they have a home, or, they might say, well, I like my cheap, low payment, right? But I think that ultimately numbers are kind of secondary, right? Like when people, for example, like Zillow leads, right? Like they're not looking at these homes expecting to talk to a mortgage guy about the biggest debt they're ever going to get in their life. They want to look at the home, right? And then figure the numbers out later. So
yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things that, like, you justify the purchase of a new home first for other reasons, like family size or, upgrading, downgrading, and then figure the numbers out after. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way it goes. And I feel like that's, regardless of the interest rate environment, will continue to keep things moving. I mean, think about, like, when your parents say, like, oh, 16, 17, 18% interest rates, like, I couldn't imagine buying a house with a mortgage like that, but people did. They just
back in the 80s.
Yeah. I don't think that interest rates really are a big driving factor for the purchase side of real estate. I think they might drive some refinances, but I think, to Sal's point, the purchase market, it'll affect their buying power, but it's not going to affect whether or not they buy a new house. If it does, it's
right. People will always buy houses. I agree with that completely.
Now,
I do believe that refinance volume is going to go away.
It's funny. What's funny about that, guys, is I agree with you and I disagree with you in the fact that it won't affect because emotions drive decisions, right? I mean, a person wants something, they're gonna figure out a way to do it. I think that the biggest factor will be is buying power. It changes a $200,000 buyer to a $170,000 buyer. and then
Right.
ultimately starts affecting overall sales prices of homes.
Yep. So you'll see
Yeah,
a
I
drop
mean,
in
it's
equity
not
a little bit,
completely-
right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not completely static, but when affordability goes down, I think so does the price of homes, right?
Right.
You
Exactly.
have to move them to justify the budget that most people are willing to pay for those type of homes in that segment, right? So
Exactly.
I think a big thing is just the motivations behind buying a home. I think right now that it doesn't hurt. It's like an additional, cherry on top that you can get into a home with a 2.75 interest rate. And that's why we're seeing, even through this crisis, right, people making all these moves, selling, buying, this, that, right, because it's an advantageous time to do so. But I don't think when they go up, it's going to be much of a differentiator on my end, at least, right? Just because if you just look at, I mean, mortgage volume will be down, to your point, Paul. People won't be refining like they are, right? And I think that, if you're in this business, you have to start making those relationships, especially, following up with your past clients who might have been a first-time home buyer and now are married with kids, because otherwise they're going to work with someone else. So, and they will buy, even if the rates are 5.5%.
Yeah, people will always buy and sell. I think, again, to your point, Sal, refinance volumes. So all these loan officers that are writing all these refinances right now, making a ton of money and just, doing quantity and volume and not really paying attention to the real estate agent, their partnerships in the real estate market and actual doing purchase business, they're gonna be hurt a little bit when these rates go up. So Darren, I know that just so the audience out there understands, Darren is in he's a little bit farther north of Detroit. There's a lot more probably land available, parcels of land. The properties they're not as congested as they would be in the major metro area. People can do USDAs out where he is. So are you seeing people going farther out now since they can work from home? Or are you seeing, because I'm getting this feeling that people aren't as concerned about proximity to certain things. They just might want to be like in a much more open area.
I agree with you, Paul, and I think that that's also part of what's affecting the average sale price of homes right now, is because they're pushing outward out of the popular suburban type areas and getting it out even further out, where our metro area, we've got Fenton, Linden, Grand Blanc, that are Davison, that are some of these bigger kind of suburban areas that they're moving out further, even outside of those areas, because they want a little bit more land. And right now, land is a little cheaper. People are able to purchase with out a little bit further. So the average price points are dropping, a little bit on that versus what you could buy right in the suburban area with that same type of home. Mm-hmm. And I think that has affected a lot. We've seen a lot more outer, I don't want to call them rural because they're kind of a semi-rural type area. We've seen an explosion in the semi-rural market really happening in some of the outliers of like Millington and parts of Lapeer and even like Goodrich and Ortonville, which are typically even popular areas, but that explosion of people moving from Royal Oak, Shelby Township, Washington Township, things that they're just getting out of the city and wanting to be further away because they are working from home.
Yeah, you say semi-rural, but those areas you can get a lot more house for your dollar, and in those semi-rural areas that you're talking about, you can get to what Paul said. You can get a USDA loan, which requires zero down payment. So you can get a lot more house for less money out of your bank and have a low payment with low rate. It's kind of crazy to think about.
I just had a transaction the other day that was for the homeowner. They moved from down by Lake Orion, and they wanted a little more land. They moved up just between Lapeer and Metamora, and they were able to buy a 20-acre parcel with a 2,200 square foot house for about $250,000 less than what they were able to buy a house down in that market area for. Working from home, his company has essentially said at the minimum the rest of the year they're going to work from home. So he's like, as long as I got internet connection, I got high-speed internet, I'm good. And that seems to be more of a driving consideration now, is as long as I got high-speed internet, I'm good. We'll figure out everything else afterwards.
7 minutes from Costco, Meijer, all that, right?
Yep, exactly.
Right.
Not too far out there, but those fringe areas.
Yep, exactly. They 10 minutes away and they're good.
think about cities like New York, Los Angeles, my like New York especially. Right? I heard from a friend of mine who was living out there that he knows people are moving out of New York in droves. They're going back to the Midwest. They're going back to where they they're like, I'm out, right? So I feel like New York and really big cities like that, Chicago might even see a little bit of this, where people don't want to live on top of each other anymore at all. And they're kind of like, I'm out, right? I don't want to be in this petri dish for those that have that option. So I think this is going to be a trend a little bit over the next few, like year to 2 years, where people are going to start moving away and not being so tethered to their business. Because I know people that work at, like, let's say Thomson Reuters, where they do tax accounting. A buddy of mine works there, and he had one of his reps who, they're all virtual. They're all working from home for at least another year, they said, right? And she's like, I'm going to move to Florida. Are you good with that? And he's like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You can work from anywhere now, especially with the technology. So are we going to see a shift where now it's just a normal thing where you don't have to live near your work, right? So, Darren, what do you see coming down? So I'm a little hypersensitive right now to the winter months. Winter months are generally tough here in Michigan. People don't want to look at houses. There's snow on the ground. Things kind of slow down. The Christmas, the holidays. Do you see or foresee a slowdown, or do you see opportunity there?
I see opportunity. There's always going to be a slowdown of the general population, right? But I see that people right now are very opportunistic buyers. That they've been looking. The inventory's been low. There's not been a lot of available homes. They've been maybe beat out by, half a dozen offers on houses that they made or what have you. I think that people are going to be way more opportunistic right now. And when they see something they want, I don't think it's going to matter that it's Thanksgiving weekend. I don't think it's going to matter that it's between Christmas and New Year's. I think that they're going to see it. They're going to jump on it because they know they're way more educated buyers now than they ever have been in history, that they know what they want. And if they know it's an 8, 9, or 10, I'm buying it.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. So let me ask you this. Are you guys doing You guys are doing a bunch of listings right now, right?
Yep.
Okay. In this market where supply is so low, why would I work with a real estate agent to list my house over just popping it up on my own, right? Because I had a friend of mine call and was like, I'm just going to put it up on I'm like, dude, it's a nightmare. But there is an argument where, because the supply is so short, that you could put your house in the market. You might not need to put a real estate agent on it. I'll look at he's getting distracted.
I know.
I'm listening. Tell Canterbury to get back to work.
Yes, she's bringing somebody by and talking, and I can't hear a damn word she's saying. So,
okay, all right.
We're good.
Why would I list with an agent?
So, there's a couple reasons. Obviously, one, there's legalities, right? This is a legal binding contract. It's not like selling, a piece of furniture on Facebook Marketplace. It's a legal binding contract that if you don't do, the things right and don't get your ducks in a row, you could potentially be sitting in a courtroom arguing your case. The other side of it is I don't know if everybody realizes this, but on average, the National Association of Realtors has put out that a typical homeowner, when for sale by owner, takes 88% of the list to sale ratio. So if I list my house for $100,000, typically I'm taking $88,000. Where on a real estate market right now is anywhere between 94 and 104%. Okay, so it's imagine it kind of like this. You go on Facebook Marketplace, you're looking for a car for your kid. You find one that's for sale by owner. You go and pay the car's for sale for $10,000. Are you offering that buyer that seller $10,000 for that car? No, you're going to offer them $9,000 or $8,500 or whatever. Odds are you're going to get it, because there's just a different motivation. They're not expert negotiators. You're dealing with somebody that maybe is an accountant or maybe is a stay-at-home parent or something like that. Whereas you go to the dealership, you're paying the price. The car's $9,999. You're paying $9,999 because they price the car at the point they know the market can bear the sale price at, and they're expert negotiators to get you top dollar for that vehicle. Same concept for your house. You go to list your house for sale. do you negotiate every day? Do you do contracts every day? Do you know how to order title? Do you know what's entailed with a home inspection? No, most people don't. Just because they bought and sold a home once doesn't make them an expert. But a lot of people, there's that case, right, that you make that, oh, well, I could do this. It looks easy. Well, if you're a good agent, you should make it look easy, right? It should look easy. Just like if you're building a house and you got a good builder, they make it look easy because it's effortless. Well, a good agent does the same thing. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a smart decision to go out and sell your house yourself because your agent made it look easy, because there's a lot of things that go into that transaction that most people don't even ever realize.
Right. So those of you looking to buy a house, go look for sale by owner. You'll get a discount, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but unfortunately, it's a total nightmare of a transaction.
Well, think about this, and Sal, we've dealt with this because when there's no agent involved, it is a nightmare on us as on the loan side because they want us to set up the purchase agreement. We're like it is a nightmare as far as that goes. But think about this: it'd be like going to the courtroom and representing yourself against a professional, right? Because that buyer is going to have an agent 9 times out of 10 because it's the seller pays that commission. So that buyer is now at an advantage, wouldn't you say, Sal, when they're being represented in a sale like that, and there's no other party on the other end?
Yeah. I mean, I think in the end, right? I mean, if all things are equal, like, okay, you're probably going to end up paying close to or similar to what I mean, mind you, as a seller, you can lose out, right? But like a buyer and the seller, like the way the commissions work out, right? Like if they're selling the house at a 3% discount because they are able to, or putting that extra 3% in their pocket, it's often like you're not really saving that much money, and all of the representation that you get from an experienced realtor is kind of lost. What do you save? $2,000, and then next thing you know, you're getting sued for $10,000 because a realtor didn't come out and be like, hey, what's up with this tree that's encroaching onto the neighbor's yard, or hey, heard you had some issues in the basement, and they're going to ask about that. What did you put on the seller's disclosure? Or going through those things, which time and time again I've seen on for sale by owners getting calls afterwards. Hey, my neighbor's suing me, right? Or hey, this buyer is suing me, or I want to sue the seller because I just found out there's a whole bunch of mold in the basement. It's like, well, don't talk to me, dude. I don't know. Right. I would say call your realtor, but you don't have any representation that essentially for the same price that you ended up paying anyways, or you saved, you could have had a realtor. Right. They're going to sell your house for probably more than you let it go for anyways. And an appraiser is the equalizer in it all.
I think one of the biggest testaments is, I mean, the three of us, we deal with mortgages and real estate every single day, right? We could easily, I would say, all three of us could easily negotiate and put together a contract and go through it ourselves fairly simply. Because
it's a nightmare. I did it for my mom. It sucks.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. But that's the point. Paul, when you bought your house, you use an agent. When you sold your house, you use an agent. Sal, same. I did the same. Actually, Darren was my agent because I'm up this way. We could do it ourselves because we are in the industry and we deal with it every day. We choose not to because it's not worth it.
We're smart enough to know that there's value there.
We could do it,
the
but
value of realtors is
we're not licensed real estate agents, and honestly, if I did it, I'm sure I'd miss something. It'd be like,
guys, there's a great statement my dad told me years ago, and it stuck with me since I was a kid. He told me, Darren, if you don't do anything else, listen to this. Do what you do best and pay for the rest. And it stuck with me,
but then you just be eating all day, Darren.
Man.
That was my thought exactly. I need to go eat.
I take that out of your head, Brad.
Hey,
Darren,
that's awesome.
What are you doing for haircuts during COVID? How are you handling that?
Oh, me and Bick are great friends. Hey, I tell you what, I joined the Dollar Shave Club. It was the best thing ever.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that thing has been fantastic.
Yeah, you go through a lot of razors, huh?
Oh, God, exponentially. Matter of fact, I talked about even going and getting my head lasered just so I know I have to deal with it.
Really?
Yeah.
To grow the hair back or to get rid of what's left?
To get rid of what's left. I'm done. This is what you're getting for the rest of my days, boys. So,
hey, it works on you, bro. It works on you. It absolutely works on you. Darren, we're gonna do 3 questions, and then I'm gonna get your contact information for anybody that wants to reach out to you. But first question that I want to ask you is: Are you afraid of COVID? And if yes or no, why or why not?
No, I'm personally not. I feel that it's a flu, like any other flu, and it's no different than anything else. If it's your time, it's my time, and the good Lord will call me home when it's time. And whether it's this flu or another flu, it is what it is. So me personally, I'm not.
You're playing extra innings right now, dude. You're in extra innings, buddy.
Yep, absolutely.
No, I'm kidding, man. Anybody else have a question? Sal, Brad, you guys have a question for Darren at all? Okay. If you could be one animal in the animal kingdom, what would it be and why?
One animal in the animal kingdom and why? Gosh, I would be a Tyrannosaurus Rex because they
travel time.
I would travel time, transcend it. Think about you think about a dinosaur. Well, think about it. If you think about a dinosaur, do you think of any other dinosaur besides a T-Rex? That's the first one that comes to your mind. It's iconic.
Velociraptor.
Well, there's a close second. There's a close second.
Right. What if we're totally wrong about Tyrannosaurus Rex and you chose to be a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and they're the ones that we thought were ferocious, but they were like huge wussies, and like they got eaten all the time.
Well, then that's perfect because you just described me.
You can't do anything with your arms. You've got just like these big legs. I don't know. It's interesting. They're just big birds. Like emus are dinosaurs, I feel like. Okay, that's interesting.
Tyrannosaurus is not a bird.
All birds are descendants of dinosaurs. You didn't know that?
Yeah, but not a T-Rex is not a bird, bro.
What? I mean, it's an emu, basically a big emu.
They're probably the closest related.
No way. Really?
Yeah. So you'd be a emu, is what you're saying.
So Brad would be an emu.
I don't know. I'd be a pterodactyl.
If Sal, what kind of dinosaur would you be?
I don't know, man. I mean, that's an interesting question. I never really thought about, but probably. I'd
be a megalodon.
A megalodon? You'd be the big shark. I think I'd be one of those giant neck ones. I think it's a Bronchiosaurus or something like that. Just graze on the
Bronchiosaurus. Yeah, the one from like the Flintstones where he rides down his back.
Yeah. I don't know.
Pterodactyl would be cool. I don't know how pterodactyls.
I mean, I guess it's a pterodactyl would be sweet. I mean, honestly, if you could be anything that could fly, I mean, how great would that be?
It'd be sweet.
Sitting there.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Except those moths that can't like really fly. They just like flutter around. The wind blows them everywhere. That would suck.
Yeah. I mean, I would never want to be a bug, dude.
Oh, man.
No bugs. So let's see here. Next question. If you were to do anything else other than real estate, what would it be and why?
If I could do anything other than real estate, and what would I do and why? That is such a broad statement for me because my mantra is to help 10,000 people in my lifetime. So it would be anything related to an assistance of other people in making their lives better. It could be anything.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, Darren. And I know Darren is really big on giving value to his people. So, dude, kudos on the new venture. I know you and Christy are doing really well up there. How many agents do you have now?
22.
22 agents. Wow.
Yep.
And are you looking? Okay.
Yeah,
that's a big jump, man. Congratulations on all that.
Thanks. We're growing at a great rate, and we offer a lot of value to our agents, more so than anybody else in our market area. And I'm very proud of the team that we have, and I'm very proud of the management team and the operations department. And we're just doing it right. We're taking the time, and we're very agent centric. And I believe we can't we can't operate our business without our agents, and agents get themselves in a way better position than anybody else in the marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, man. So tell the audience how they can get a hold of you, dude.
You guys can reach us always at 855-58-HOMES. Easy number to remember. Find us online at pcteamsells.com, or you can visit us right here in Grand Blanc, right on Dixie Highway at 10293 Dixie Highway, Suite O.
Awesome, man. Darren, congratulations on all your success. Why are you laughing, Brad?
He's got the O suite.
The O Suite.
Show me your O face. Okay, don't do that. All right, brother, man. You enjoy the rest of the day. Tell Christy I said hi. I miss her. Is she still working out a lot?
Insanely. She's getting ready for a show right now, so she's doing like 4 hours a day. It's insane.
Sal, I don't know if you've ever seen Christy's jacked, dude. She beat all our asses.
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat. Now our new office has got a big open area where they come in and work out in our office now, and now they do the boxing and all that in here. Holy cow! It's insane.
Yeah, you're doing poker night. She's doing boxing. All right, dude. I'll talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk soon, man.
All right, sounds good, guys.
All right.
See you, man.
So Darren's always a good person to have on. I think it's interesting to me because he made the switch to eXp, and he was like, I don't know if I should do it. Now all of a sudden, like 22 agents, and he's doing really well. I'm impressed by what he was able to build because, whoa, let me tell you what's going on with the screen. Whoa.
What is going on right now?
I don't know. Natalia just went.
We're playing like that cup
twitching
game where you hide the thing underneath it.
It's from taking Darren in and out. What'd you say?
Sal, you okay, buddy? You're a little quiet today.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Right.
The later the podcast, the more distractions.
Got it. So maybe we should start earlier. I get it. Okay, that makes sense. Well, that was the time he could do it. So we kind of sometimes I've got to do what the right. But dude, guys, I'm gonna be serious with you. I think the market is heating up a bit too much right now, and I'm just befuddled by it. It's good for us. It's good for people. Just guys, anybody listening, just be just be smart about making moves right now. If you're going to buy a house, buy it now. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you're going to refinance now. Because come the winter, I think we're gonna be okay. I think we're gonna be just fine, but it is gonna be like interesting to see what happens. Don't you think, Sal? Like through the winter and into the next spring, that's gonna be very telling on how our market's gonna fare over the next few years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. You can't plan too far ahead in this business, right? Because you're always getting blindsided by something, whether it's your own local market, which often you don't see anything too crazy, right? Like spikes or things of that sort. But like, who knows, right? I mean, like it's always something. It's Brexit. It's this. It's an election. It's it's something that pulls or pushes markets, right? So just do what you can every day, right? I mean, that's kind of what I say. Like, if you can help people today, I mean, you'll be able to help people in a different way in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So, I'm not too worried about it. I think if you want to buy a home, like do it. If you're worried about losing money, then, how long are you going to be there? I mean, why would you ever buy a home and be in it a year or two in a market that's already saturated? You know what I mean?
Right.
You lose your ass.
Yeah.
And commission, interest.
Yeah. Yep. I watched The Big Short again with my wife the other night. I just wanted to kind of watch it again. And
I still need to watch that movie.
You haven't seen The Big Short, bro?
No, man. I still haven't watched it. It's been on my to-do list.
You better watch, dude. It's crazy that you haven't watched it. But anyway, Sal, you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a plane.
That. Yeah, that scene where you've got the loan officers, the mortgage guys, and they're like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I made all this money, man," and they're like these douchebags. And that to me is a sign that like things are like it's too easy to get business, and I'm starting to see douchebag loan officers everywhere again. So I'm starting to feel like, but there's a lot of like technical stuff that isn't going to happen like it did in 2008. But just from a douchebag meter standpoint, like the douchebag meter, it's really high on the loan officer scale. So I feel like that is a good predicator on those people might not be working because they're really there's a lot of people making a lot of money when it's so easy to write a loan because rates are so low. It's just so very odd.
Well, I mean,
you know, so
when there's multi-trillion dollars worth of financeable loans out there, I mean, yeah, you know, lots of people are going to make a lot of money, but I mean, whatever, you know, I think you just do what you do, and I don't really care if the market shrinks 50% or if it grows another 50. I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
Just
well, that's because Sal, that's because you're focused on purchase transaction, realtor relations. That when you have that base, refinances are gravy, but that's really your base. I worry about the loan officers that are so refinance heavy that are just not paying attention. Like they just are, you know, want the money. It's a money grab because there's so much out there.
You know, who cares?
Yeah, I don't. So, who cares? I agree with you.
Come into
if you do the right things,
a quick money grab. I mean, if you think it's sustainable, like you'll probably lose. But I mean, I guess if you're licensed and you write all these refis and then you find something else to do later, I mean, whatever. I don't really care. I don't care what anyone does because it's their own thing, as long as obviously people aren't doing bad things, right? But whatever. You can't worry about, you know, what's going to happen because you have no control over it.
I was just talking with another guy who started a shop out in California, and there's just some weird things happening. I worry about the only thing there's not really anything I worry about. I mean, like things are going to happen the way they happen. It just if we don't have the mortgage fraud that we had before, that's the biggest thing. We don't have like people. There's a lot more checks and balances. So the mortgage market is really healthy. I think the mortgages that are being consummated now are good mortgages, and they will perform really well. What I'm thinking is, as a servicer right now, you're positioned well if you get this book of business at sub 3%, because those are going to perform really well over a long time, because they're not going to be those are going to be worth a lot of money in a servicing portfolio. So just think about that. But you guys have anything before we go?
Nope.
All right. 2020. Did you guys see all these UFOs on like TikTok and shit yesterday? Did you see any of that UFO shit? Check it out. It's fucking weird. I love you all. Check us out. irepodcast.com. Go to our podcast stuff. Please comment. Give us a review if you like our show. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. We are out, and see you next week.